Well, hello again, viewers and listeners who aren't seeing me or hearing me for the first time. My name is Fred Satilli. This is episode 27 for the Voters Union of Accountability Nation. And this episode is titled We Are the Bold. And the reason that it is We Are the Bold is because as I was writing the book Oregonism, I wrote things as I was inspired to do so, different chapters at different times. It wasn't written first word to last word. Different ideas happened and those stories were told. It's in some ways a compilation of short stories, but obviously all linked together through the heroic character of Orazio Riga. Now, in the story, the hero makes a stand. And it's very, very important that we make a stand. There's too much wishy-washiness in politics. There's too much people meeting each other halfway. And this is how the intent of our nation gets watered down till finally it's lost and we become unrecognizable. So I'm going to read the excerpt from the book now. This starts on page 140, and because you're going to be jumping in at that point, you won't know who these characters are and the character development that brought everything to this point. So you'll have to bear with me on that. But the speech really stands on its own, and I'm getting enough really good reviews on the speech. People who are reading the book are calling me up and saying, my God, Fred, the We Are the Bold speech. And a number of people have asked me to read the book, to have like a book on tape kind of a thing, but that's a big task. But what I would like to do at least is read this excerpt. So I'm going to put on my reading glasses and actually read right out of the book. And hopefully I do a good job for you. And so here we go, for those of you who haven't seen it. And so here we go, right at page 140, chapter 15, Facing Up. And here we go. Orazio returned to his office at his shipping company to consider the labyrinth of ideas that he had been fed far too quickly over the past several years. Genetic manipulation, spaceships, space colonization, world-changing batteries charged with geothermal energy, crazy computer hackers, sex robots. It was all too much. He needed to sit quietly and reflect. He asked himself, what did he really want? So much has happened. Everybody was working effectively because they were unbridled from bureaucracy. His dream was happening, and because it was happening, it was bigger than the management by his patronage. The STEM kids were flying. He was out of his league. Even he, big shot Orazio Riga, was blown away by the next generation. He loved it. They had needed a freedom, and he provided it. He provided the freedom that a parent provides a young developing child. A well-raised child does not worry where his next meal is coming from. He moves forward. That's freedom. The freedom to have an unencumbered mind. The freedom that comes from faith in your security. That's what the government is supposed to provide. That's what the originators of our Constitution had envisioned and planned. It was not lost on him that it was their gift by example to the world, and that he was doing, and what he was doing was the gift in kind to an America that had lost its way. He decided to just sit in his office, take off his tie, look out the window, and maybe just fall asleep in his big leather chair. No such freaking luck. Marla and Donna Black came busting in, ready to party. Marla Black. Well, Ratsy, we knew it was coming. The three-letter agencies are all over us. Even Lana couldn't back them off. It's the good old tax evasion gambit. They're coming after you Al Capone style. They're so unimaginative. They're using 1920s Elliot Ness tactics. It's an insult. Orazio. So why are you smiling? Donna Black. Why? We're ready. Been ready. We have anticipated this. They think they have us, but they don't. They're in such disarray that they will never be able to get a consensus as to how to proceed against us. Their system is just too top-heavy and too bottom-sloppy. We're moving forward too fast for them with their lazy ineptness for them to catch up. We're going to outrun them. Oratio, do you have a plan? It's all media. The 10 are going to make you a national hero. They're going to pound the American people with propaganda that will make it difficult for the media-worried politicians to know the best course of action. They'll balk. Oratio, why are the 10 going to do this? What's their game? Donna, good, you get it. The 10 want the Axis to be hired by the government for their counterattack. The government is a bunch of disorganized juveniles who have no computer savvy. The partnership will be bad for the Axis. There will be congressional oversight hearings and boondoggles like that. The government has too many stupid people in it. They always make a mess. The Axis, in frustration, will have to leave them high and dry. The 10 are hoping that it will be the downfall of the Axis, or at least the kneecapping, as it were. Marla, we're going to get together with you and Kaz, write a speech that will vault you into national superstardom. Oratio, how much time do we have? Marla, plenty. If there's one thing you can depend on the government for, it's delays. Oratio, you know what? I don't want to delay. I understand exactly what I have to do. I know exactly what I want to say. Who am I going to be facing? Marla, there is an IRS office in Salem that we can use as a venue. Oratio, I want it televised. Marla, I don't know if they'll do that. Oratio, have the 10 do it no matter what anybody says. I want everybody in America to see me stand against the swamp. I'm no actor, but this is a role I'm destined to play. It's my place in all this, though I did not want this, and my original intention was innocent. This is what they've compelled me to do, and do it I will. Marla, Oratio? Ratzi? Oratio, get Carol. I need all three of you. We need to record this. I want every word of every suggestion kept for consideration. I've anticipated this confrontation ever since they hijacked my oil tanker. Now I'm going to give them my response. Oratio Riga arrived at the IRS building in response to their demand for a deposition. He brought along his 2 lawyers and a half a dozen witnesses. They informed him that his testimony was going to be recorded. They began by attempting to swear him in, something about perjury. He smiled as if only they knew. Sworn in? No. He went straight into his speech. Hi, my name is Oratio Riga. Here I stand at an IRS office being asked to account for my actions by a group of men and women who have never accounted for themselves or the sins of their organization. Do you see the hypocrisy? IRS, you're just people. You're not qualified to interrogate me. You're drunk with power because you think you're going to get away with something dastardly because of the immunity of bureaucracy. I assure you, you are not. Those days are over. We are the bold. I grew up in America. I knew what it meant. I worked hard and prospered. Hooray for me. I see an America that I do not recognize. I see hypocrisy and mendacity. I see a regressive society, not a progressive society. That is not acceptable. There are 2 kinds of people, it seems, givers and takers, builders and destroyers, the sincere and the devious. We can no longer tolerate the takers, the destroyers, and the devious. We, the givers, the builders, and the sincere, have been too kind for too long. We have been taken advantage of by people like you. We are no longer submissive. We are the bold. Too many visionaries have been stifled by the fear of the powerful, sketchy characters who know that their strangleholds are tenuous and who must protect their metaphorical sandcastle by surrounding them with dead hopes, dead dreams, and even dead bodies of those they fear. We will no longer sacrifice ourselves without a fight. I am a man just as you are a man, and as such, we are even. You have had authority in the past, but your irresponsible behavior has disqualified you from any sanctity that your office once enjoyed. In other words, you've done so many things wrong for so long that you no longer have credibility. You're fired. And I will make sure that my authority to do so is respected. You don't believe me at this moment, but you will. We are the bold. We will proceed from here to build things for the betterment of mankind. Medical science, space science, and societal reform will move forward as heretofore unseen speed. How is this possible? We will not have our efforts trivialized while our nation's resources are marshaled to achieve voter manipulation. We will not be encumbered by Salem or Washington, D.C. You've become silly. We don't need your permission, and we certainly don't need your obstruction. The first step in this charge for freedom will be disregard for the court system. It has failed, and its authority is so irrelevant now that regard for it is impossible. The court's rulings are only respected because of police enforcement. The court will find that this cooperation no longer exists. There is not a cop in Oregon who will arrest me. Every one of them knows me, knows who I am and what I do, and that I am not a criminal. So if you want to send someone after me, do not look to the police. They know that I'm better for Oregon than you. They know it enough to know that you would only act against me with sinister ulterior motives. They know that if you fire them, I'll hire them and give them a better deal, a deal with dignity. Throughout history, great men have been decried by authority. For the last 5 years, I have witnessed genius, men and women who have made advances in science that authority would never endorse, a monetary system that is based on productivity, not debt, a battery that will revolutionize the distribution of energy, a power plant that has an inexhaustible supply of fuel, an automobile that is far more economical and romantic than any in existence, free distillation of water to build a forest in a desert, a medical solution to cancer, a political system that truly represents all of our people, and so much more. I have also witnessed obstruction. My property was stolen by political thugs. Now they have enlisted you to come after me. This paper pusher attack has no substance. My work does. The government that you represent has no power even to protect itself. I do have the power to protect myself. You may not think so at this moment, but you will see. We can do more than you because we have real skills. You do not. We can build. You can only destroy. You are the desperate. We are the bold. The courage of one person has always preceded bold steps, whether it was Madame Curie, Galileo Galilei, or Jesus Christ. Someone had to stand up and move forward despite the common fear. I am blessed to be among a group of such people. We are not afraid of you. You have no power over us. We are the bold. Those among us do what we do because we can. We are compelled by our own very human nature to create and build. We do not do this to dominate you. In fact, you will be the beneficiary of what we do, and you will get it sooner if you just get the hell out of our way. You, on the other hand, take great pleasure in dominating us, though you offer nothing. We do not need to defeat you. We simply need to disregard you. You are nothing. You are nothing but a nuisance. Each person is an individual. Each person is a minority of one. Don't victimize minorities. There is no telling what one mind can achieve, and we are creatures of the mind. Our mind is our gift. We do not have an animal ability to survive through our muscle, fangs, and fur. We must use our mind, and use our mind we most certainly have. Those among us who have achieved the most through our thoughts and imagination are the most human among us. Those who thrive through muscle are the most animalistic. For a judge or government to make an unfair ruling and enforce it with violence or the threat of violence is animalistic. We are the bold. We do not live in a devolving society. I have always feared that I would go to my grave having lived in a society that does not meet my standard. Now I know that a society that will meet and surpass it is possible, even surrounded by animals like you. We are the bold. We will protect ourselves from you. Now we know we can. If you are virtuous and come to our door again with plans to build, you will be embraced. If you come with plans to destroy, as you have today, you will be disempowered. We do not have time and resources for those who waste. We are simply too busy to indulge your witless dependency. We are creators. We are the bold. We're leaving this room now. We do not threaten retribution for the insulting attempt you've made here today. But if you persist, we will protect ourselves with little regard for the consequences to you. If you pursue us, you bring consequences upon yourself. Remember that. Not all of us are as patient and as kind as I. I am not sorry you will lose your job over this encounter. This is a terrible job that we will be phasing out soon anyway. You will simply be the first. As the nation watches this live stream, they may wish to interview you. Please remember just how serious we are. Don't forget, we are nothing like what you've ever had to deal with before. We do not tolerate bureaucratic interference. We are always fair. You must be fair and honest too. You thought you were going to hurt me today, didn't you? You were okay with that, weren't you? We hold you in contempt. You don't have the courage to admit your intention, but in your heart, you know who and what you are. You and your kind are parasites. Now you have to admit it to yourself. That confession will facilitate a rebirth if you let it. You can be one of us instead of what you once were. Goodbye, buddy. And thank you, America, for watching and listening. It's been a great day for the creators among us. The IRS agent went back to his desk, only to find that he had been fired. He was instructed to gather his things and leave the building. In shock, he went to his cell phone to call his wife. All that was there was the speech that had just been given to him, playing over and over again. His car radio was the same. The speech was playing on every station. When he arrived home, his wife was waiting at the door. She asked him what had happened. He said, Armageddon. So, thank you for allowing me to read that to you. It was a great pleasure for me, actually. I don't read the book out loud like that, but people have enjoyed the commitment that man made to his principles, and when you read the rest of the story, you'll see the context that it's in, and hopefully it'll be important to you, because I am getting good feedback, and I'm very proud of that. So thanks for listening. Get yourself a copy of Oregonism. It's important going forward in the years to come. We have to have a plan on how to become heroes ourselves, let's put it, since I just read the book. We want to become leaders, lead characters. We want a better nation through strong resolve and commitment and strength. And if you read the book and you understand how it's achieved in the book, you'll either want to do it that way, or maybe you'll even come up with a better idea, and wouldn't that be great? So thanks again. I am Fred Satilli. I'm going to leave you with this phenomenal piece of music by Steve Lang. Once again, I'm so proud of him. He's really a fantastic composer. Anyway, thanks again. We'll see you next time.